On October 25, 1994, Susan Smith reported her 2 young sons, Michael and Alex, missing. What seemed to be like a tragic abduction quickly turned into a national nightmare when the truth came to light.
And she jumped out of the car, and he took the car with the children, and he's headed toward Chester.
Some guy jumped into a red light in her car with her 2 kids in it.
Initially, Susan claimed a carjacker had taken her children. But after 9 agonizing days, the truth unraveled. She had driven her car into John D. Long Lake in South Carolina with her 2 sons strapped in their car seats.
Yeah, he said, I want my mama. He said, Mama, where you going? And I told him, I said, baby, I gotta go, but you're gonna be okay. And I told him I loved him. I hollered I loved him. And then, the guy slammed the door and he took off. And I just felt like such a failure.
For 9 days, the community rallied around Susan, holding vigils, spreading awareness, and searching tirelessly for her missing sons. Law enforcement resources were poured into what they believed was a heartbreaking abduction. But then, Susan's story started to unravel.
The next day, the search begins for the alleged suspect and the boys. Police put out a description of the man, and for the burgundy protege he's said to be driving. Less than 24 hours after the reported abduction, the search goes nationwide. Sheriff Howard Wells coordinates the effort.
With daylight, hopefully we're going to find this vehicle today. We hope, we pray, but we're still waiting.
It's the dawn of a new day in Union, South Carolina, and still no sight of 2 little boys reportedly happened 2 days ago. Late last night, David Smith, the children's father, pleaded for help.
If you see anything suspicious, if you see a vehicle you think is the one that we're looking for, please notify any form of law enforcement agency and let them know.
How they resemble Sheriff's Office, Jeff Lawson.
I don't think there's anything they haven't done that they could do. I've just put my faith in the sheriff.
While researching for this video, I found a strange turn of events that the sheriff was actually Susan Smith's godfather.
But in this case, until I determine who's a suspect, everybody's a suspect.
It's very hard. The hardest part is not knowing, just not knowing.
Under pressure from investigators, Susan eventually confessed. There was no carjacker. There was no abduction. Susan Smith had driven her own car into John D. Long Lake, with her sons still strapped inside, leaving them to drown.
Smith is incarcerated at an undisclosed location.
Susan Smith had been a suspect from nearly the beginning. State law enforcement officials here in South Carolina report that it was the inconsistencies in her story, as well as all of this media scrutiny, that led Susan Smith to crack and confess to killing her 2 young sons. Police tell us Smith watched as her Mazda protege rolled into John D. Long Lake. Investigators say the car floated for a while, then flipped over and sunk. Smith's children were strapped to their seats when the car went down.
The revelation sent shockwaves across the country. It wasn't just the tragedy of Michael and Alex's deaths, but the betrayal of trust. A grieving mother had lied, manipulating public sympathy, and taking advantage of a society ready to help. Smith's false claims left scars beyond her immediate community. For many, it marked a moment when trust in public pleas and narratives of victimhood became tinged with skepticism. The fallout led to debates on the limits of empathy and shattered a community's innocence.
I don't see how any mother could put their children in a lake and watch them go down and die.
Neither do police. A motive hasn't been figured out, and tonight investigators won't talk about Smith's confession, but townspeople are talking. Robert Sinclair's son Mitchell is a close friend of Smith's. Even he says he had no idea what she had done. Did Mitchell have any idea that the car was at the bottom of the lake? Did she believe him? Did he believe her?
Yeah, she had everybody believe.
I hugged my little boy. And I just couldn't believe that somebody could do that to their children.
Donna Atkinson is still wearing a pin with a picture of little Michael and Alex on it. She and hundreds of others packed the street in front of the Union County Sheriff's Department. People like Lisa and Henry Campbell had hoped for the best, but got the worst.
It's this tragedy. I mean, I have 2 children of my own, and for a mother, there's no reason on this earth for a mother to do that to her children.
I feel for her, I pray for her, and rest of the family mostly, but my heart goes out.
Along with the anguish people feel for the toddlers, there is anger for Susan Smith, who said all along a black man had taken her children.
Everything come up that's wrong, everything come up that's bad, first thing to do is depict the black man as the epitome of evil.
Susan Smith was convicted of the murders of her sons and sentenced to life in prison with the possibility of parole after 30 years. The gravity of this news has shaken her ex-husband David Smith, who has lived every day with the loss of his sons.
I just wanted to see what did she look like. Who and what mother could kill her babies?
Many are haunted by the thought that she might walk free, believing her lies and actions should have lasting consequences. And that includes her ex-husband.
No, I do not want Susan to be released. I don't know what I'm going to even say to the parole board other than I don't want to release, but more than that, I don't know. I know I'm just going to speak from the heart and, just remind them of, most importantly, the lives that she took, but also the lives that she changed forever. All the people all the family that, she changed. I don't know if it's the right way to put it, but history for like my life, the way my life's supposed to go, she changed all that. And I want to tell the parole board, you can't let her out. I mean, she did it intentionally, with malice and forethought, as they say in the courts, and 30 years is just not enough for justice for Michael and Alex. For her to come out of prison in the future would be an injustice to Michael and Alex. She needs to stay in there until she dies of natural cause or whatever. But she needs to stay there for the rest of her natural life. When people want all the attention, what do they call those kind of people?
Narcissist.
Yeah, she's very much a narcissistic person. She's gonna make it about her any way she can. She shows that in the things, all the trouble that she gets in prison. She shows that it's still all about her. She's not gonna, to me, she's not gonna change.
Members of the public can write to the parole board through its website to voice opinions on Susan Smith's possible release.
I would be honored if they would do that, if they would express their feelings to the parole board about her being released.
I have included a link if you would like to voice your opinion on Susan Smith's release. Thank you for watching today's video. I'll see you in the next one.